Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Scarlet Scoop. I'm your host and multimedia editor, Chelsea Spears. It's been a week since the infamous Carmageddon ended and the OSU website was restored. But now, the university is in talks that Carmen might be going away for good. On Thursday, university officials said they're looking at the possibility of switching to a system other than Carmen. A committee of more than 50 students and faculty members will meet early next year to discuss the possibility. They'll present their findings in May, but if the committee determines that Ohio State should move away from Carmen, it could take up to 2 years to implement a new system. Well, Jonathan Waters has announced he's looking for a new job, and that job might not be in music. The former Ohio State Marching Band director has repeatedly said his only wish is to be reinstated at OSU. But now, and what Waters is saying is probably one of the most difficult decisions he's had to make, he's moving on. Waters said he's thinking about looking for a job that involves public speaking or inspiring students. Waters was fired after a university investigation found there was a sexualized culture within the marching band and that he should have been aware of it. A second investigation was launched, and now the results from that investigation are in. Lantern Assistant Multimedia Editor Khalid Moalem has more.
The second investigation into the culture of Ohio State's marching band found its flaws to partially be the fault of limited university oversight.
Decades-long traditions and behaviors, which have long outlived social approval, have been permitted to exist.
Former Ohio Attorney General Betty Montgomery, who led the investigation, said that her task force found the university's lack of control over the band was in part due to personality conflicts, funding concerns, and disparities between the band and School of Music.
When you take a look at that and you couple that with the band's popularity, with the community, with the fan base, with the alumni, and its performance excellence over decades, not just a few years, but over decades. And it's permitted the band leaders to become iconic and, frankly, in many ways, to overshadow effective university oversight.
Montgomery found that the band has been isolated from university supervision for more than 50 years. Marching band director Jonathan Waters was fired in July, only a year and a half in his tenure as the university band director, after a 2-month OSU investigation revealed an environment conducive to sexual harassment within the band. President Michael Drake had assumed his role as the leader of OSU less than a month before.
Even one instance of harassment or hazing or assault is one too many. And though we are not alone among campuses across America facing these serious issues, this is our home and our responsibility.
In September, Waters fired back with a lawsuit against Ohio State seeking $1 million in compensatory damages, attorney fees, and reinstatement. The lawsuit is ongoing, but the university said they will not rehire Waters. In the second investigation, Montgomery and her team made 37 recommendations in their final report. One in particular stands out: to reinstitute the tradition of upperclassmen giving nicknames to rookies after it was banned following the first investigation. Now, Waters' attorney David Axelrod told the Lantern that his client will start searching for a new job. Khalid Moalem, Lantern TV.
On Tuesday, Ohio State announced that President Michael Drake had been appointed to a 3-year term as Secretary of the Council of Presidents of the Association of Public and Land-Grant Universities, or more simply, APLU. As Secretary, he'll help set policy goals and priorities for the association. In a Tuesday press release, APLU President Peter McPherson said Drake was the natural choice for the position, saying, quote, "He represents the very best of our public university leaders." In case you missed it, those of you who are hoping to take the plunge into Mirror Lake's icy waters will need to obtain a wristband from the university to gain entry, as the lake is set to be fenced off for the 2nd year in a row. OSU Police Chief Paul Denton is warning students who do plan to take the jump that there are health risks associated with water that's so cold. But students are saying neither the cold nor the fences will stop them from jumping.
Doesn't matter. It was snowing last year. It was actually physically snowing when we jumped in the lake.
It's kind of crazy, but hey, why not? I suppose if you want to. It's kind of your own risk, though. It's not, it shouldn't be somebody else's priority.
Well, Lantern TV took a comprehensive look into the Mirror Lake jump and what that will look like for jumpers this year. You can find the full video on our website. Just go to the Lantern TV tab and click on our live special video, Buckeye Interior. As you probably know, the Mirror Lake jump is always the week of the heated OSU-Michigan rivalry game, and the jump falls right in the middle of Beat Michigan week. But the jump's not the only thing that you can do during that time. Lantern Assistant Multimedia Editor Hannah Chanetsky is in studio to tell us about some of the events you can participate in next week. Hannah?
As tradition goes, many activities are held throughout the week leading up to the game to get the students pumped, commonly known as Beat Michigan Week. November 22nd is the Wolver Buck Duel, where both schools' crew teams will compete in an annual race for the Wolver Buck Orr Trophy. November 23rd is the Beat Michigan 5K. The two main goals of the race are to raise funds for a local charity, Neighborhood Services Incorporated, and to kick off the week's events. November 24th is full of many activities, and one that sticks out, the Beat Michigan Pep Rally. November 25th, third graders from Barrington Elementary School in Upper Arlington will be selling homemade Buckeye necklaces to raise money for the Stephanie Spielman Fund for Breast Cancer Research. And the last event for the week is on November 27th and is the 23rd annual Thanksgiving dinner. This dinner provides the OSU community a home away from home with a home-cooked meal to those who cannot make it home for the holidays. More information about all of these events can be found on the Ohio Union website. For Lantern TV, I'm Hannah Chinetsky.
The first snowfall of the year is bringing more than just chilly temperatures to campus. It's also bringing some upset drivers. Some campus area drivers expressed frustration after Campus Park made the decision to close off rooftop levels of the campus area parking garages. Campus Park said it closed the rooftops because they can't use salt to melt the ice since the garages are made of concrete. In some of these garages, drivers pushed aside the barriers and parked on the rooftop levels anyways. In an effort to combat sexual violence, a group of Ohio State leaders co-hosted an It's On Us event Wednesday. Lantern TV was there as the OSU Sexual Violence Education and Support Center talked to attendants about how bystanders can help prevent sexual assault.
Over 200 schools have committed to using the It's On Us campaign to promote awareness of sexual violence. On Wednesday, November 19th, Ohio State student Democrats and Republicans gathered at Lazenby Hall to gain further knowledge from Student Government President Celia Wright and Sexual Violence Prevention Coordinator Michelle Bangan.
So the It's On Us campaign is a movement at Ohio State, but also across the country, to inform students about sexual assault and how they can intervene as bystanders, and also how they can support survivors better. We work partly on the platform of social media, but we try to accompany that with meaningful in-person interaction as well as a longer-term advocacy standpoint. And we hope that this campaign will not only yield a sort of culture shift at Ohio State, but also tangible solutions at the university level in terms of how we address sexual assault.
Sexual violence is an issue that we're seeing nationwide on college campuses, and Ohio State is doing a lot to try to prevent sexual violence and really empower the community to become a part of the solution. We've got wonderful prevention programs like our Buckeyes Got Your Back program, which is really helping teach students how they can be active bystanders, how they can prevent sexual violence before it actually happens. We have wonderful resources for our students. Our sexual violence support coordinator is available to support students and survivors of sexual violence, and we just encourage all students to seek out those services that are available.
This is Patrick Callista and Anthony Suhey reporting for Lantern TV.
On Thursday, many Hunger Games fans began lining up outside the South Campus Gateway Film Center to catch the midnight premiere of Mockingjay Part 1. Lantern TV was there and caught up with some fans after the show. And according to them, if you haven't seen it yet, you won't be disappointed.
We both read the book, and so I thought it was a really good adaptation, especially for only part 1, so they had to stretch it out. I thought they did a good job of making it as action-packed as it was, because the first half of the book was a little slow, so I thought they did a really good job of fixing that.
That's all the time we have here today on the Scarlet Scoop. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.